All right, let's get. I'll let you finish your drink. Okay. Hey everybody, Bill and Lloyd here. We have some Stadia updates for you. Lloyd, are you pretty excited about these updates?
The day, this was a really interesting day. So normally they do the update at around 11 a.m. Central. So before 11 a.m., I think it was just like after 10 a.m. we got like a drop, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's awesome. And then after like 11:30, we got another drop, and I'm like, oh my God, the day's getting amazing. And then we got more news trickling in. It was like boom, 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 boom. It was a very big day for Stadia news. So this is going to be a fun video, I think.
It is. Why don't you start us off with the first thing that they covered?
Sure. Well, they dropped the fact that 2 new games, or actually they just dropped them on the store. We found out about them later that they were on the store if you hadn't already refreshed the store. Jotun and the Valhalla edition and Sundered Eldritch edition are both available on Stadia right now. Jotun Valhalla edition is $14.99 US dollars, and Sundered Eldritch edition is $20 USD. And yeah, they're both available. We knew about these coming to Stadia before because they released kind of a preview video on what these games were all about. And I know a lot of people, myself included, were excited for both of these because I hadn't played either of them. And they both look very amazing with different animation styles, different types of gameplay. So I'm really stoked to jumping in. I'm going to jump into Jotun right away, maybe get a first look done on that game because I'm ready to journey to the gates of eternity and meet monsters as I travel through Norse mythology. I'm just reading from the email, actually.
Yeah, so Lloyd and I did receive review code, one each. Like they sent us one for Jotun and one for Sundered. Lloyd took the Jotun one. I've got the Sundered one. So we're both going to be doing videos based on those. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure that you do so that you can see those videos as soon as they come out. But I particularly am more excited for Sundered because it is one of my favorite genres of games, and that is Metroidvanias. Metroidvania games where you kind of retread the same stuff but with new powers, and as you get a new power, you come back to that place that you were before, and suddenly you can go a little bit further than you could last time you were here. And I saw that and got really excited for it. I do love the art style of both of these games. I think that they look really, really cool, and I'm excited for them. We got the codes earlier today. Neither of us has had any time to play, so we have any first impressions or anything like that. But I'm excited to play Sundered Eldritch Edition. And just like Lloyd, I'd never played either of these games. What systems were they on before?
I believe they were PlayStation. I think they were indies on PlayStation. I believe Sundered is on the Nintendo Switch as well. Okay. I think Xbox might have had these as well. Jotun makes way more sense than Jotun, which is what I was saying, because I'm an idiot. Apparently, I had a long day at work. So, but yeah, I think they were across all different platforms.
He's even further north than I am, so you'd think that he would have been able to get that, but that's okay. He's just sleepy. All right, so we talked about, one of my favorite genres of all time is Metroidvanias. And now we we buried the lead because we're just going in order from the press release that came out from Stadia today. But the big news for me is that we're finally going to have a game that is from my favorite genre of all time. And this is one of my favorite examples of that genre, and that is Elder Scrolls Online, which we already knew was coming, but it's coming out June 16th, and it's a Stadia Pro game. I mean, all of those things together, this has got to be the biggest...
Tick,
yes.
tick, tick. Checking everything off your list. Yeah, this is absolutely huge. You love MMOs. I like MMOs as well. You're a way bigger MMO fan than I am. I played a lot of MMOs in my day, but I've kind of let that lapse a little bit. But Elder Scrolls is one of my favorite just games in total, like from from the original ones all the way to like Skyrim and just everything. Like I played a lot of Skyrim, I played a lot of Oblivion and a lot of all the other ones essentially, even though the ones that weren't really full 3D worlds that you're exploring. I played a lot of Elder Scrolls Online as well on PlayStation, but I know you've played a lot on PC and other systems. So there's some extra awesome news that came along with this announcement.
That's right. As if all of those little tick boxes that just got checked off was not exciting enough. The other thing, and this I think is, if you really look into this, this is huge for Stadia as a platform for as a whole, is that we will be having cross save, cross progression with the people who are playing on PC. So I already have a PC account, and that means that when I start playing on Stadia, I can pick up right where I left off on my PC account. And that is very, very huge news. And here's the reason why this is so huge for Stadia is right now, Stadia Pro comes with 2 months of free, right up until, I think it was June 3rd, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, after June 3rd, they're going to make it so that it's just 1 month free. So if you haven't already claimed your 2 months free, go claim them now. But right now, you get 2 months free of Stadia Pro. This game comes with Stadia Pro. Because it is cross-platform with the PC, and access to it is free and doesn't actually currently cost anything, I think that we should safely assume that everybody that has a PC account for Elder Scrolls Online is probably going to sign up for Stadia right away, because now they can do crafting from their phone if they have an Android phone, or from a computer that is not like their main rig. I don't know if you've played, and I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the audience. I don't know if you've played Elder Scrolls Online before. It is not the best optimized game. You need a very beefy PC in order to get it to run very well. So a lot of people are going to say, all right, well, I want to play it, but maybe I want to play on my Chromebook downstairs, or maybe I want to do some quick crafting stuff while I'm at work from a browser. Yep. That's a very compelling thing to an MMO player, to somebody who, like, these are the kind of games where you want to log in every single day, and being able to do that from any screen that you own is extremely compelling. And this is really going to increase the size of the player base for Google Stadia. And one of the, like, I don't know what the breakout is for PC versus Xbox versus PS4, but they already have 15 million players play this game so far. That's pretty crazy. What are your thoughts, Lloyd?
It is incredibly crazy. So with your Stadia Pro subscription, you're going to get the base Elder Scrolls Online version, which is the original content that it launched with. You also get the Morrowind chapter as free content. So you get just a oodles and oodles and oodles of content that's included in it. The reason why they're doing this is because in June, Greymoor is coming to all platforms, including Stadia. You'll be able to buy Greymoor, which is like I think it's like a $50 add-on, which gives you that Skyrim content into the game. But buying the Greymoor content will, I believe, also give you access to the Elsewhere and Somerset content. So there's been like 4 big drops in Elder Scrolls. There was the base game. There's a bunch of additional stuff that they've added as kind of like little DLC packs. But then there was Morrowind, Somerset, Elsewhere, and Greymoor. So I believe, so you'll have the first one for free. And then if you buy Greymoor, if you buy the, what was it? The deluxe edition, I think is what they call it. It comes with some free mounts and other things, but it comes with Somerset and Elsewhere as well. So it basically unlocks the whole game. So for, I believe, $50 or whatever it happens to be on Stadia, you're going to get like thousands of hours of content playable on Stadia without having to download over 100 gigs of data and store it on your Xbox or your PlayStation or your PC. And it's probably going to look really damn good on Stadia as well, which makes me really excited.
Yeah, my wife and I took her car to go get repaired today. And when we came back, like this news dropped while we were out. And when we came back, I immediately turned on, I opened up Steam and turned on Elder Scrolls Online, and it started downloading. And it took like 2 hours. No, maybe not two. Probably an hour to finish downloading the patch because I hadn't played in a while. And that was just, that's kind of irritating that I had to wait. And that's never going to be a problem again after June 16th. I do want to say that one of the, a lot of people are going to look at Elder Scrolls Online, and if MMOs are not for you, that's totally fine. If Skyrim style games are not for you, that's totally fine. Why are we still talking about it? Because I'm super excited and Lloyd's excited, and we'd like to talk about things we're excited about. But the thing that I want everybody to make sure that they know is you don't have to buy all of that other stuff in order to have lots to do in the game. Even if you just get the base game, you can play for hundreds of hours without spending another nickel. And the thing about one more thing that I want to make sure everybody knows about is that there is a separate subscription to Elder Scrolls Online that is optional. Okay, it's called ESO Plus, and basically if you subscribe to ESO Plus, it gives you access to all of the DLC from the past, except for those big drops that Lloyd was talking about, like Morrowind and Elsewhere and Greymoor and
Greymoor.
I think that's it. Yeah, you don't get access to those unless you buy them separately, but it gives you access to certain quest lines, like the vampire quest line or the werewolf quest line, or the Thieves Guild quest line, extra stuff,
Dark Brotherhood, all that stuff. Yeah,
right. And you get all of that from Elder Scrolls Plus, which is MMO price per month, whatever that is. I can't remember.
$15
$15
a month
bucks
if
a
you,
month, but you can get it down to 12 if you do a yearly subscription.
Correct.
The thing I want to make sure everybody understands is you can play it completely without that. But the one thing that makes it so valuable is the crafting bag, because they give you a bag and all of the crafting materials that you pick up in the world just go into that bag and they don't take up inventory space. And they also give you in-game currency each month to spend on stuff like, a bank teller that will follow you around, and you can say, oh, I got to put this crap in my bank. Here, bank teller, take that. It's really cool. I think it's a really good deal, and I'm going to resubscribe to it if I'm going to be playing it a whole bunch. And we already have a guild. So the Nerd Nest is our guild on Elder Scrolls Online, the North American mega server. So make sure that you can, the applications are open. You can send in an application and I'll accept people and stuff like that. I'm super excited for this game. Anything else that we want to talk about with Elder Scrolls before we move on to other stuff?
I don't think so. It just this is huge because we knew it was coming, but the fact that you're going to be able to play this game for free is going to be great. Well, free if you have a pro subscription, but right now you can get a pro subscription for 2 months for free. So if you're not a Stadia subscriber, sign up now in January 16th. I want to say, is that what it is? Yeah,
June 16th.
Or sorry, June 16th. January. Yikes. June 16th. You'll be able to jump right in. You'll be able to play just 100 hours, hundreds of hours of content. They've changed the game so that there's no level limits essentially anymore. Like you can jump into almost anything at any time with people that are different levels. Like they've made this so attractive to jump in. And if you like the Elder Scrolls world, if you like to jump into Tamriel or Skyrim or all the other parts of Morrowind, all the other parts of that game series, there's going to be just amazing content for you in here, and it's free. It's free with your pro subscription, which is just going to be absolutely fantastic. So I can't wait for this to come out. I can't wait to buy Greymoor. I can't wait to give them $15 a month. I can't believe I'm saying that, so that I can jump in. But I've been looking for ways to jump back in to play Elder Scrolls Online, and doing it on Stadia just to me seems like the smartest way, because you're not taking up 100 gigs of storage on whatever device you're on. And patches will be immediate. You won't have to do what Bill did, which is run to the store, walk around the town, and come back, and it still hasn't finished downloading. It's just going to change the way that MMOs are played for me, which is great.
Yeah. And you know what? One more thing he was talking about the idea that levels don't really matter all that much in this game. When Greymore comes out and we buy it, the new people, if you've never played before, you will be, if you buy Greymore, you'll be playing alongside the veteran players. You're level 1, they're level whatever I think it's 50 is the highest level, and you're playing together because the leveling doesn't matter. The world scales around you, and it's just really cool. And that means it's easy to get groups, which is really huge. Which is a problem that the other platforms, PS4 and Xbox One, they don't have crossplay with Stadia and PC. I'm guessing that maybe that will happen in the future if we see crossplay between these two. But this isn't the Stadia or the Elder Scrolls podcast, so we should probably move on. We're just so excited about it. All right, PUBG ranked mode.
Yeah,
are you going to play PUBG ranked mode?
No. I won't play PUBG normal mode. Definitely not going to jump into rank mode, but it's good. I mean, people that are into competitive shooters, this will give them a little bit more of a drive to get better and to compete and things like that. It basically just removes all the bots. You go up and down. There's only 64 players total on the map instead of 100. So there's some changes. It's great. It's a free patch essentially that's coming to the game. So if you are a big PUBG player, like some people on the Discord, you'll definitely love the fact that this is coming out.
Yeah, I was always afraid of ranked mode because I always felt like, Bill, you suck at video games. So don't go into ranked mode. You're going to ruin somebody else's game. But guess what? With ranked mode, that means I'm paired with other people who suck at video games, which means I have a better chance to actually win. And it took me a long time for my brain to get over that hurdle and move on.
Right.
Okay. We talked, did we talk on Sunday about Mortal Kombat 11 getting a bunch of new stuff or no?
I don't believe so. I don't believe we did.
Okay.
It doesn't sound familiar anyway.
All right. So Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath has a new story expansion. They call it Aftermath, and it brings in RoboCop, Shiva, Fujin, and stage fatalities, new stages, and friendships, which I always thought were really cool, where you can, and you give somebody a nice bouquet of flowers instead of ripping their spine out.
Exactly. And we did talk about this a little bit, so I just forgot about it. So Aftermath is an add-on to Mortal Kombat 11. So you need to own Mortal Kombat 11 to play this. So it's a $40 add-on, which adds a bunch of more content, a bunch of other a whole new story mode, things like that. But they also have the collection, which is $60. And then I believe there's a couple other ways to buy it depending on which you own. If you own something already, you buy this. If you don't, you buy this. If you want all the other DLC, you buy this other thing. So this is great. Mortal Kombat 11 is such an amazing fighter. I was watching one of my buddies, Jay Shockblast, was doing some videos on Mortal Kombat 11 story mode, and it just looks great. The amount of storyline that they've been able to bake into this franchise, which is essentially a game that was made because they wanted to shock people by having blood and spines come out of people. They've basically turned it into something that has a pretty interesting story, which is weird to say about a fighting game. So this is great. If you're already playing Mortal Kombat 11 on Stadia, you're probably already excited and probably are going to be picking up Aftermath as soon as possible, because you'll want that new story content and extra characters.
All right. So, Lloyd, you really like The Crew 2. Am I correct in that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
it's such a great game.
The Crew 2 is getting an update called the Hobbies Update. You want to tell people all about that?
Yeah, so this is coming out May 27th, which is what's the 26th today, so it's coming out tomorrow, as when we record this one, which basically allows you to take part in themed challenges, time challenges, exclusive rewards, a bunch of other vehicles, a bunch of stuff. It's included for free if you already own the game, and the best part, you can access all these new vehicles and other things immediately because you don't have to download a patch on Stadia. You can just jump right in and get it, and play this new kind of little story mode where you could be a collector and take part in a bunch of different challenges to get all the different vehicles and kit them out the way you want.
That's awesome. One more thing to talk about today is resolution. It says here on the community update over at community.stadia.com, it says we've rolled out a new resolution option on Chrome. Players using a display with a resolution between 1440 and 4K will be able to stream up to 1440 instead of 1080p. So basically, if your screen was not a 4K monitor, then you were always getting a 1080p stream. And if you had a screen that had a resolution higher than 1080p, then what would happen is that Stadia would then make your resolution, or just what's the word I'm looking for? Scale it up, I guess. They would scale it up, and it would look a little bit blurry. Well, now 1440p actually started rolling this out back on March 18th, and as Google always does, for some reason, they do a slow rollout, probably so that they can find mistakes and stuff like that. But they did a slow rollout of this, and it looks like as long as you meet all of the requirements to play in 4K, if you're playing on a non-4K screen, they're going to now have 1440p as an option for you to stream in. Any thoughts on that, Lloyd?
I think that's great. There's a lot of people that prefer playing in 1440p at a higher refresh rate. So they buy like a really good gaming monitor that has like a 120 hertz or 144 hertz refresh rate. So 1440p is a very popular resolution. We're not going to get the 120 frames a second on Stadia, but if you already have a 1440p monitor, having the images basically be displayed at the right resolution for your monitor is going to be better than having things stretched up or stretched down. So this is great. It also uses less bandwidth than 4K. So hopefully in the future we'll be able to choose what stream we're getting. So if I have a 4K monitor, but maybe I'm playing a game and my kids are watching Netflix and doing video chats with their friends. So maybe I only want to play in 720p or 1080p or 1440p. I'll be able to have those options in the future will be huge. So you can kind of choose how much bandwidth you want to use.
You know what would be really cool? I mean, I've said before a million times that it would be great if they would just say, oh, whenever he plays Borderlands, let's run in 1080p so that he can get 60 frames per second. Or give me an option that says, always favor highest possible frame rate over highest possible resolution. What I think would be, I mean, in addition to those options, which would be awesome, another thing that I would really like to see is when I start a game on Stadia, like I turn on my Chromecast, I hit the button to start, we'll say Doom or whatever, and it would be cool if a little pop-up that would pop up and say, give me a choice. Run this at this, run this at that, best visual quality, balanced, or restricted, or whatever it was, so that I can make that decision then without having to pull out another device, i.e. my phone, which is kind of irritating to have to do.
Yeah.
I also did hear from a developer today, and they told me that they were talking to somebody, and what they said is developers have to specifically make a 1440p profile for their game. So what happens is if the developer has not made a 1440p profile for the game, then the game will run on the 4K profile, but the stream will be 1440p. So it will run at for instance, Borderlands 3, as far as I know, at this point, has two modes. It has a 1080p 60 mode, and it has a 2160p, 60 frames, or I'm sorry, 4K 30, 1080p 60. I think I said that wrong the first time. So those are the two modes that it has. It doesn't currently have a 1440p mode. So if I go to play that game and I'm on a 1440p display, I will be getting a 1440p signal to me, but the game will be running at 4K, which is disadvantageous because that also means that it will be running at 30 frames per second instead of 60 frames per second. So that is something to keep in mind.
Definitely.
All right. Well, that's it for us today, unless you have any other things that you want to cover today, Lloyd.
No, not bad for a Tuesday.
Yeah.
This is a crap ton of news, and from what I understand, there's going to be more news coming because we don't really know what the June Pro games are going to be, other than ESO base game being that. So we could get more news this week, and this is turning into a really hot summer for Stadia, which is a really great thing.
In the comment section down below, if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, if you're listening to this on the podcast, then obviously you can't do the comments. But if you're on youtube.com/StadiaCast, leave a message in the comment section down below about three questions. Number one, are you going to be playing Elder Scrolls Online? Number two, what do you think the other June Pro games are? Because we haven't heard that yet. And number three, what is one more thing that you are excited about for Google Stadia? So answer those three questions in the comment section down below, and leave a like and all the other YouTuber nonsense that we always ask you to do. It really does help everybody. All right, Lloyd, I'm out of here, man.
Yeah, sounds good. Take it easy, everybody. And ESO's coming, everybody. We know it's coming. It's a real thing now. It's not just a rumor. We're a little excited over here.
A little bit.